Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. Say hi, Spoons.
Hey there.
And you're tuning in to Where the Mind Wanders. The title is pretty much what the show is. We just are going to wander around. Um, what is it? We just skipped last week, didn't we? I'm kind
Yeah, I
of,
think we just
uh,
skipped 1 week. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, we skipped a week. So I guess we'll start off by catching up to see what's been going on the last 2 weeks. So, Spoons, is that you want to start us off?
Oh gosh. Um, yeah, we skipped last week. I think I had a lot of crazy stuff going on that I didn't really have any way to talk about. I didn't want to put stuff out on the show and yeah, all of that stuff. This week, um, I don't know. I guess I could say I'm back kind of in limbo on the job stuff.
Mm.
And went back to doing some of the ride share last week. So, um, turns out I don't like the schedule that I was in. Like it was a good experience. It's like, okay, if you have to do like a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I can do it and still have plenty of energy and all of that stuff. But I'm just like, why? Why commit to something like that when there's so many other ways out here to make money? So I think the right opportunity is going to come along that's going to fit better. Um, but I guess we'll just see how that kind of stuff turns out. But yeah, I don't know. What about you? What's been going on with you the last couple of weeks?
I've just been when I have the opportunity, just working on a lot of music, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Working on a song uh, that I wish to finish first, I guess, as well as jumping between being little creative things here and there. But yeah, I'm like trying to figure out how to go about this one project. 'Cause I'm having a hard time arranging it into an actual song. So
Mm-hmm.
I have some good loops, but I'm like looking at this, I'm like, how do I turn this into a freaking song? Because if I can write the other parts and gel them together, it'll be nice. But I'm having trouble branching out from this one loop. That one
Uh-huh.
section's good, but like the other sections I'm trying to create to turn it into a song just don't seem to gel. So
Uh-huh.
that's where I'm at with that right now.
Yeah. Well, never know with that stuff. Creativity is so interesting. You may have three pieces of something that can go together, and then they may be three totally different pieces.
Yeah,
you know?
well, that's where I'm at right now. This is the part that I wrote for a chorus. It's not working. It sounds good on its own, but gelled together with the original loop I was trying to turn into a song, it just doesn't work, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
like drive me nuts in some ways. Um,
Hmm.
I wrote the lyrics for the verse, um, but did turn into a whole song. Like I don't even know where I'm going with it. So, but
Hmm.
I got lyrics for the verse at least.
Yeah.
And,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty much all
That's,
I where I'm at. And I go on vacation in 2 weeks and less than 2 weeks. Well, two
yeah.
weeks from today, I fly. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I wanted to knock it out before I go, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you never know how that stuff works. Like if you don't get it done before you go, you're going to be gone for a while and in a relaxing spot, it looks like. So something may just come to you. Who knows? It's fascinating. Hmm.
Well, wish I had more to say than that. That's pretty much. I'm caught up.
Yeah.
We're caught up.
Uh, yeah. My stuff is, I don't know. When you were talking about the trip, I was thinking about how September used to be like my month that I always had a road trip and stuff. And
Mm,
last year was the first year I didn't do a road trip in a long time. So I'm still not back on track to do that stuff again. Um, I've been kind of missing it the last little bit, more so than I thought. So I've been thinking about some of that stuff. I'm like, I gotta figure out something else about my money situation and all of this stuff. If I really do want to travel around, I need to be picking things that are going to allow me to do that. So that may be another reason why my job stuff has started to shift
mm,
because I think the job that I was doing, um, it was really going to tie me to the spot. So, where it seemed like it could. I guess it's a nationwide company, so I guess it didn't technically have to tie me to the spot. Um, it's kind of one of those things. I'm kind of glad I never really talked about what the company was or anything like that because I don't know. I've been going back and forth the last week or so trying to decide if it's just poorly run, the office that I'm in,
mm.
or if it's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Um, and just different things that I've been told the last week or so. I don't know. I'm not going to say these people are lying to me exactly, but I don't feel like I'm getting the whole picture. And it's like, I don't want to invest my time into something where things are that um, unclear, I guess is
Yeah.
the best way to put it. I'm not saying they're bad people by any means. It's just working with salesmen. And I'm somebody that can be influenced. So it's just not a good spot for me to be in. Um, and just listening to them talk about different aspects of the pay. Like say I say I got a client and somebody helped me enroll the people at that place. If I want to, these are the key words. If I want to, I could share my money with the other person.
Mm.
I can't be in a job like that. I'll be broke. I will give people my money. I, I can't not share.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is the worst possible scenario to put me in. So for my own sake, I just have to be like, no, I can't do this. There's only so much of that where I can grow. And the rest of it, I'm just going to feel guilty. So it's like, this is not a good setup for me. And had we talked about that kind of thing in the beginning, I would have known that.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's just a lot of things. I suppose, the older you get, the more questions you know to ask about certain things. And the first 2 weeks of that job, I just kept asking a lot of questions and getting a lot of feedback and realizing it's set up in such a way that you're just wasting a lot of your time
Mm.
and they have no interest in fixing that to streamline stuff. And I'm just like, why would I invest my time into something that people are like, for instance, somebody handed out leads, like businesses that we were going to go to, and they gave at least three people the same lead, which means three people went to that same business and tried to sell in the same week. And I'm like, that makes us look idiotic for one.
Yeah, not. It's probably very annoying for the person that had
Uh-huh.
three people show up to. Yeah.
Exactly. It annoys the person. You're not going to get a sale. And if you do get a sale, who gets it? Who's the one that closed it?
Yeah.
And then are you going to fight over that money? I'm just like, this is a lot of time waste, a lot of time suck. And then you couldn't know who already had our coverage.
Yeah.
So you didn't know who your customers were. So you might walk into a customer and try to sell. And to me, that's insulting. I'm already your customer and you're going to come in here and ask me to buy. Like you don't know me and your whole line is we're going to know you personally and take care of things personally. It's like, no.
Mm.
So I was asking a lot of questions around those kind of things, and there was just no interest in trying to streamline any of that or make it. And I'm just like, then I don't know. I can't I can't work where there's no um I don't know. That's too chaotic even for me.
Mm.
Like I can deal with a lot of chaos, but I'm just like needless chaos like that. No, no, thank you.
Mm.
Not interested. So there was just a lot of things like that. I'm like, maybe if I was really young and starting out in this, it might be a totally different thing. But mm-mm. And the other thing is like most of the other places I talk to, if you sell a policy and you leave for whatever reason and the people renew it, you still get your renewal
Mm.
fee. If you leave this place, you get zero. You're done. It becomes theirs. And I'm just like, so all that's for them. I mean, for the most part, when you're working for somebody, it is for them.
Mm.
But that's just not enough split for me. So I don't know. It's a good learning experience. I'll give it that. I
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be a discrepancy between theory and practice. So you got the experience, so you see, you saw how it actually works versus how they said it was going to work. So,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, I should have. I saw different signs along the way that it was probably not exactly as seen on TV.
Mm.
like, like I'm noticing how some of the people are dressed that are like, um, I don't know, some of the things that people were wearing for business professional, and then some of the vehicles they were driving. I'm like, this is not a successful place. But then again, maybe not. Maybe I'm being too whatever. Maybe they're thinking those things aren't important. I don't know. There were signs. I think I think it's more of a pyramid scheme than a legitimate job. And they told me they were going to pay me while I was training or whatever, and then they didn't pay me the first week. And I was just like, and then they were like, "Is that okay?" And it was the first week, so I was like, "Well, what else can I say?" But
Yeah.
okay,
A whole week. I'd
a
give them
whole
a
week.
day. I give them a day because some places are like, oh, we'll give you a trial period a day. I'll even say 3 days, but a whole week.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, the reason it even came up is like I was going, "Where's my check? We're supposed to get paid on this day," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't pay you this week." I should have just walked out, man.
Mm,
I don't know. I did get to work through some stuff though. Like there was this whole thing about, the guy that I trained with for those couple of weeks, really liked him. He's a really good guy. Um, but we get paid on commission. Other than being in training, you're only going to get paid on things you sell, right? And he had been there for like 8 or 9 months and he had only closed one case. I'm like, those are not feasible odds.
yeah. But
It's not livable.
how has he even survived the last 9 months if you only got paid
I,
once?
well, they do like they help with other people's enrollments. So that's that thing where you got to give somebody a piece of your money for helping you. That kind of stuff, I suppose, is how he's living. And then there's the house accounts where people left, sold stuff and then left. And so now it's just owned by the agency.
Mm,
Those enrollments, I guess he gets to keep whatever he sells on that. But actually closing a case, you'd only closed one. And I'm just like, how am I? And it's like, no offense to him because he's a really good teacher and he
mm,
was teaching me all of the stuff. But I'm like, if you're not closing cases and that's how we get paid, I'm not training with the right person to to
yeah.
learn how to, you know. So I had to like I talked with the boss about all of that stuff. I'm like, um, I'd worked with him for 2 weeks and I'm supposed to get a percentage of whatever he sells. He's not selling anything. The only reason why I'm making money is they're taking it from other people. So not only is he not paying for himself, he's not paying for the people under him.
Mm,
So we're just like, and like I said, again, it's such a pyramid scheme. And you have a conversation with the boss, and he's like, well, if I feel like you're doing enough, I'll pay you X number of dollars every week. So now I gotta worry on how does this guy feel about me this week, whether or not I get a paycheck.
yeah, yeah. I don't think commission's all good and all. I've worked jobs that had commission, but you still gotta have like a base salary, or it's it's going to be very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I could tell him, I'm like, I have other skills. Like I've done all kinds of different office work. I've audited systems. I'm like, if you want to get this place running better and smoother and cut out a lot of the duplications, I can help you guys do that kind of stuff. No interest.
mm,
No interest. I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. So it's fascinating. But yeah, just having to go through that whole conversation with the boss about, look, I'm not getting the right kind of training. If you really would think, I'm like, this is not a doable job for me. And then also going to the guy after the fact, the guy that had been training me and being like, there's no hard feelings there. I think you're great. You're just not good at this other piece. And I don't think, I think they need to let you focus on that and figure it out before you're training people,
mm.
kind of thing. And he didn't get offended by it. At least that's what he said. So I don't know. But that was really hard. I don't like abandoning people, and I don't like to see people fail, per se. And so, like, when it worked out, I was going to come back into the office and try training with some other people, and then that just sort of fell through. Like, I think that's all for the best. But I don't know. It gave me an opportunity to look at this thing where I kind of put other people ahead of me. Like, I was more worried about that guy getting in trouble and maybe losing his job or something like that than I was about trying to make the job work for myself or something. I don't know.
Mm,
It's like I kept focusing on that other piece. And I'm like, you can't worry about that piece. He's got to worry about himself. And you've got to take care of yourself, which I hate the way that sounds. It sounds so selfish, but you can't. I got to fix the leaks in my stuff before I can start repairing other people's stuff. And he doesn't need my help. He's fully capable. I think it just winds down to excuses not to focus on my own stuff. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a fascinating couple of weeks
mm,
trying to figure that stuff out. But I don't know. I find, I guess, is kind of interesting these days is, I'm always so fascinated to try to figure out why people do the things that they do. And I find myself with these situations not getting so lost in all of that, just realizing they have other motivations
mm.
and then just moving on instead of trying to to figure it all out. That's like a whole other way to waste my time figuring out somebody else's supposed motivations. Like the guy wanted me to come back and work for 2 weeks. And he's like, I know you can do this job. And there was a piece of me that's like, I think he just needs me to stay around to get a retention bonus or something.
Mm, could be.
I don't think it had anything to do with me actually being successful at the job. It didn't feel like it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But just being there a month and watching people come and go. Like I think they had 2 or 3 people that started last week.
Mm,
So I'm already, in a sense, replaced. You know, my thought is maybe those recruits were doing so well. And maybe that's why the other stuff fell through that I was supposed to do this week. Who knows? Just realized I didn't care. There's like so many other opportunities. I had somebody call me Friday and offer me a job. And then I've got an interview this week for a part time job. So I'm sure something's going to work out.
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to figure out where to actually focus the energy on all
Yeah.
of this stuff. I feel like there's so many different directions I could go, and it's just
Yeah, I
hard
think
to pick.
for that, I think it's just going to be trial and error until you fall into what works, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I was telling you earlier, I've been uh, fine tuning my meditation class stuff that I'm teaching next month. I've been working on that today since I had um, more time than I expected. So, which it actually works out really good because the class that I'm teaching, we're actually going to be focusing on a lot of that same material in the teacher training, and that starts this weekend. So, I'm going to have a lot of stuff that I can kind of talk with them about and just see because I want to add some yoga poses along with like each chakra. It's a workshop focused on each chakra or whatever, and I want to just have different poses that can kind of go along with the meditation if people want to do that. So that's a piece there's like a lot of question marks. What works and what doesn't. So I'm kind of glad it's all lining up. That way I can get some feedback and suggestions. Mm, I spent probably, I don't know, an hour typing up what I already had written down in my little notebooks and stuff, trying to get it all consolidated. And I got to whittle all that down to 30 minutes.
Mm.
So we'll see how it all works out. The thing of it is I also have to think about how nervous I might be. So I got to make sure I have enough material in case I speed up too much. I don't know. I'm still not really great with timing stuff like that. But you also don't want to be too fast for a meditation.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's fascinating. I'd like to spend more time on projects like that, but I don't know. I actually picked up a couple of books a few weeks ago to go along with that course that I'm writing, and I'm like, need to be diving into those as well. Just hadn't had as much time to read lately. I've been so tired.
Mm.
I don't know. Trying to think what else has been kind of going on. I mean, other than like jumping back into the rideshare stuff, that was just kind of fun, actually. I actually missed it. As weird as that kind of sounds, I guess, to miss a job, it's just so easy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the platforms has changed some stuff, which I still haven't went in there and researched it yet, but apparently Lyft now has this thing where they can go in there and make you a favorite. So I don't know exactly what that does, but I had a couple of people that favorited me. So
Maybe it's
uh,
if you're available, you're like the first one that gets sent out there.
maybe.
Mm.
Um, when I first started doing this, I'd get asked questions like that a lot. Like, is there a way we can request you? And I'm like, no, because you never know when I'm going to be working. It's not like I have a set, other than like I have set days that I like to do. Um, just doing this stuff over time, you figure out what days work better. Fridays are always good. Um, Fridays are usually better on tips.
Yeah, everybody got paid.
Everybody got paid. People are in a good mood. They're going out on the town for the night.
Yeah.
Here's some extra money, kind of deal. Just flows a little freer on Fridays. But yeah, I usually, which I didn't work yesterday, but I usually work on Fridays and Mondays. Mondays when it's a holiday, it's kind of weird. I usually don't bother. They're pretty hit and miss. I think part of the stuff with that, it's kind of like with Saturday and Sunday, they're not as easy to make money on as well. I think there's more people out driving on those days for like a secondary job through the week. So, mm, I had one interaction that I realized it was the end of like a long shift, and I got when I got these last passengers in my car, I was like, I have to quit for the day.
Mm,
um, they wanted me to pick them up in a spot downtown where there was nowhere to pull over,
mm,
and I was trying to explain to them over the phone where they needed to come to because I had found the spot to pull over. And then somebody got behind me, so I had to move and all of this stuff. Anyway, it was aggravating. It was like a it's like a $3 ride because they were just going a couple of blocks.
mm.
And I spent more time on the phone trying to get them in the car than they were actually in my car. So I was already irritated.
Yeah.
And then, so since I got my vehicle back after having the transmission replaced in it, there's a little button that you can turn the whatever it's called off, where when you stop at lights, it turns the engine and all that stuff off. There's a
Oh yeah.
button to override it. And I don't do that since I just got the transmission replaced because I used to do that all the time to try to save the transmission.
Mm,
And so I don't do it anymore. And that the girl was like, yeah, you really need to be hitting that button over there. It's just going to tear your transmission up. And I'm like, I already had it replaced.
mm.
And it made me so mad. And I'm like, why did that make you so mad? I think it's because she already made me so mad about all the other stuff. It was just like, I didn't want to hear anything else she had to say. Like, this is like a 3 or 4 minute car ride, and I'm so angry by the end of it. It's like, I have to go home. I have to go home because I'm like, that's not reasonable to get that angry over somebody telling you to hit the little button on your car, which is essentially just telling you something that they think is helping you.
Yeah.
But I know it's not. Uh, but I think, how many times have I been that person? Just
Yeah.
telling somebody something to try to help them, and it makes them so mad.
Yeah, I experienced that quite often actually.
It makes me laugh now, but I was just like, man, just talk about being in the wrong mood for all of that.
Yeah.
Uh, don't know.
Being watched. The
Oh,
tortoise came
really?
to the corner of his tank and he's just staring at me. Like I
Oh.
don't know what he wants. Uh,
Hmm. Too funny. Oh man, I can't even think of what it was called. I was gonna ask you if you watched that thing on Netflix that we talked about a while back.
Sandman. Actually, I
Yeah,
forgot all about it, and I need to get Netflix again. I don't have that right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
watched one episode of it, but I didn't finish the rest of the series yet. I just haven't had much time to like sit down and really watch stuff, and I realized that's the kind of stuff you can't just listen to
yeah, yeah.
because there's a lot going on that you have to actually sit and watch.
Mm,
So,
You just gave me an idea. Maybe I'll look at Netflix tonight. Mm, I have nothing to watch when I go to bed tonight anyway.
hmm, yeah, I mean the first episode was pretty good. I said I just I want to go back and rewatch it because I was mostly just listening. I feel like I didn't take it all in.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think Rick and Morty have a new season, so yeah, maybe Netflix. I'll get Netflix for the month.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's always.
I got Disney Plus over the weekend because I found out that they rebooted King of the Hill.
Uh
So
huh.
they put out a season on a Disney Plus. I got that. What was that, $9 a month or whatever it is? And but I
Uh
already watched all the episodes, so and there's nothing else on Disney
huh.
Plus I want to watch.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't even know. Um, there was like some true crime stuff on Netflix that I've been watching people talk about it on YouTube. Trying to think, what was the lady's name? So there is like this. I don't remember the name of the Netflix documentary, but it's about this lady named Amy Bradley, and she like disappeared off a cruise ship. I think it was in the late 90s, something like that.
mhm,
She was like 23 or somewhere around there, and nobody's ever found a trace of her.
okay.
And so uh, they actually released a documentary about it. And one of the true crime channels that I follow just did a deep dive on it. And they wrapped it up, but on their last episode, they were wrapping it up. Her brother, the girl's brother, has been, going around doing all these interviews, trying to keep her relevant, I guess, to try to get some sort of answers. And so they ended up doing like a 2-hour interview with him.
Mhm.
And so I sat and watched that on Sunday. It's pretty interesting.
And so
But by the end of it, huh?
I'm just gonna interrupt you real quick because I have to know something before I forget. Um, okay, they putting it out as a true crime, so I take it they think she did not just fall overboard.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, her
why?
family thinks she was taken off the ship, possibly by some of the employees, and sex trafficked.
Okay.
But I mean, there is some evidence that might support that, but not really. So who nobody knows what happened. I mean, there's like a lot of theories, and even like after weeks of listening to them go through all the theories, I still don't know
You know,
which way I would even lean. Um,
I'm just kind of like, why is it ruled out that she just fell overboard? That could have happened, and you're in the ocean. You could have drowned, and you'll never be found in the ocean. So,
mhm. Yeah, they were. I don't know. You know, she was staying in a cabin. It was her parents, her brother, and her. And, you know, those cabins are tiny. And she was sleeping out on the balcony. And, you know, her dad had looked out at one point. I think it was like 5:30 or something in the morning, saw her legs. So that she was stretched out on a chair or whatever. And then when he woke up about a half hour later, the balcony door was open, but she wasn't out there. Nobody heard her go out of the room. So it's like she could have fell overboard maybe, or she could have went out to get coffee at 6. I don't know.
you know,
It's hard to it's hard to say.
I mean, anything's possible. It's just that'd be the logical thing. Is she fell over, and I don't know is that she was taken for sex trafficking or kidnapped. There's no way off that boat. You know, like when they dock, you're gonna go through to like how are you gonna sneak a person off that boat? Like,
Well, that I guess that's kind of the thing they were thinking about with the employees is
mm,
they have access to those lower jacks where they can uh, load and unload supplies,
yeah,
and maybe they put her in with trash or something. Nobody's going to be checking that stuff, you know, probably. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's obviously ways to get things on and off the boat. I don't know about a human, but,
yeah,
drugs are trafficked through that area quite often
yeah.
using
But
the,
drugs are not a person. Like,
right.
it wouldn't. The whole crew could not possibly be in on it. I mean, like, anything's possible, but even if there's just one or two people involved that kidnapped it, they still have to get through, the rest of the crew, even if they're going to another place. I mean, it's possible. It's
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't seem very likely.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. But, it also doesn't seem very likely that she fell off the balcony. They have like a 4.5 foot railing, and she was only like 5'6". So it's not even like that'd be chest height at least
yeah,
on somebody.
unless he climbed
So
on top of it.
yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I hate stories like that though, and I hate that her family doesn't have answers after all of these years. It would have to be the worst. But yeah, you're right. If she fell out in the ocean somewhere, she might. A lot of people were like she would wash up, but that's not
Mm,
always true.
it depends how deep.
Especially, I mean, if you think about like the tropical places, there's coral reefs and stuff like that. So she could get caught on something. I don't know.
I don't have enough information. I just have a lot of questions. It's like, okay, what information rules out that she fell over? And what information do you have that could possibly be that she was kidnapped? Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know. There's just a lot of gaps mm, that I just
Yeah.
don't have all the information.
Well, I'll look up the name of it since it's on Netflix. If you're gonna get a 1 month, I'll tell you what the name of it is. You can watch it if it interests, but it's not one of those that really gives you an answer one way or the other. I don't feel like it does because I've watched a couple of different people talk about it, and nobody really has a good idea what it could be. I mean, you really can't. There's just not enough information, and then you have eyewitness stuff too that makes it even more murky.
Hmm. Okay.
So,
Okay, now I know what he was trying to tell me.
ah,
He's like, "Oh, I peed on my plate." I know what I'm doing after we get off the call.
right.
Mm.
Hmm. I think something else. I don't know if I know anything else to chatter about. Just mm, doing a lot of yoga and a little bit of meditation during those practices. There's so much weirdness. It's like you start clearing out the mind, but there's just so much weirdness that starts bubbling up in those kind of practices. It's like, where did that come from?
Mm.
Between that and just bizarre dreams the last several weeks, just, I don't know, feeling tired and not sure about a lot of stuff. And it's
Oh,
not even in like a bad way. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff to contemplate, I guess.
yeah, it'll all fall into place.
Mhm. Eventually. Mm,
Yeah. Speaking of, I guess, speaking of true crime, it's too bad that you don't speak German because there's this show that Sandra introduced me to. That's from the 60s and 70s. It's like a, like a crime show. Um,
uh-huh.
but like following German detectives around, and like every episode there's like a murder, and then they have to figure out who did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is such a good show. Like it is like the best police show I've ever seen. Like
Mm-hmm.
it really is. It's like I actually, when I look at the actors playing the detectives, like I think I'm looking at real detectives, like or like the
Yeah.
any of the actors in the show. It's like I like you really get drawn into it. It's like and it's called the commissar. Like a commissar is like the head detective of like a division or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like the commissar, he's like this older guy, and look, it feels like I'm looking at an old detective. Like the way he carries himself, he's such a good actor. He's a really good actor. But
Mm-hmm.
it's takes place in Germany, and then the show's in German. But it's such a good show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been because of the Amy Bradley stuff, I've been watching um there's more true crime stuff showing up in my YouTube algorithm again, and I'm just like, I don't really want to watch all this stuff. I kind of like stuff like that where it's, missing people, sort of like a what happened, and is there other things that people could think about maybe to help kind of solve it or close it, which I don't know. I just don't really want to look at this other stuff that is like murdery and all this other stuff. I don't know. I keep having stuff pop up about it keeps showing this couple and a picture of a little baby, and I don't know what that story is, and I don't want to know what that story is
Yeah.
because I know it can't be good.
No. You know that much.
And I don't want to hear about something bad happening to a little baby.
Yeah. That's one thing. Sandra drives me nuts sometimes. It's not necessarily a baby, but it's like she brings up the like these tragedy things that everybody's getting juiced for. She brings it up to
Mm-hmm.
me, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do about that. I don't care. Like of course I don't want to say it like that, but like that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why do I gotta hear about this? Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to know about this. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Even like I talked about that Koberger stuff a while back, that the guy that killed the four teens, or not teens, but college students uh, in their house. And he's made his way back into the news cycle because he's complaining because people are victimizing him in prison. And I'm like, oh,
you're in prison.
it's like tattling on the people and thinking that's going to do something to help him.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
no.
If anything, he's gonna catch him a shank in his kidney faster.
Mm-hmm.
He's just out there ratting on people. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mm,
Well,
all right. I think I'm gonna wrap
yeah.
it up if you don't mind, unless you got something else. Because all of a sudden, I really gotta pee. I really gotta pee, and we got like an
So
hour.
we're good. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. You can catch us on YouTube on Mondays at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. We also have a Telegram channel with the same name, Where the Mind Wanders. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the show, click like, leave us a comment, share it around. Even if you didn't particularly care for this episode, it's Where the Mind Wanders. Every episode's a little bit different. So if you didn't like this one, the next one for sure. And or if you subscribed earlier and you're like, oh, I like this episode, not this one. Well, turn into the next one because it'll be totally different. So um, yeah, I guess that's it. That's our spiel today. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time. Take care, guys.